Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah. Koholoyim la Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushai. Bahashim Rakahakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan the Waf, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And I'm driving right now, so I'll be roughly paraphrasing scripture. When I come to the light, I want to get this one though. It says, Proverbs 10:4. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. And that could be, physically or carnally, so to speak, and spiritually as well, because spiritually we want to constantly be working. We want to constantly stay on the grind, especially in these last days, because Satan is out here. He'll throw that little dart at you to kind of throw you off your little your regimen, so to speak. That's really what I wanted to get into, sticking to your regimen and just going harder in this truth, because we're getting to a point of things are really turning up. So as things turn up, he's going to turn up, so we got to turn up as well. And especially not putting down the plow, so to speak. Definitely don't want to stop the work. You definitely want to keep on moving best you can, because again, what Satan will do is he'll try and throw something at you, and you kind of working smooth, you got everything worked out, so to speak, and you're diligent, and then next thing you know, it's something that pops up, that kind of throws you off your diligence. And, a week go by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can really dampen you. So you don't want to be that person, you know what I'm saying? You have to catch that, cast down that imagination of, that slothfulness, so to speak, and get back up and keep it moving. Verse 5, it says, he that gathereth in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. And, hey, that goes a long way as well, because you can see it as being physical and spiritual. Because physically, you have to get up, go to the plantation, do what you have to do, take care of your your bills, your housely duties, whatever it is that you have to do. And let me see if precepts on this. Yeah, these people are very impatient. They just like fuck that, they blowing through the light. But anyway, let me grab cross references on that. Yeah, that Proverbs 6:6, going on down to 11. It says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which have no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, to sleep. Salakia. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. And if you've ever paid attention to ants, I've kind of observed them. And it's a very intelligent little insect. Like for real, they got strength. They'll be walking along with something that's 4 or 5 times their size. But they definitely get it in the summertime. Like they are, putting together what they had to put together for the winter season, so to speak. So we have to stay on top of doing the work and keeping busy, man. And also too, being idle can get you fucked over. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what pretty much overall happened with King David when he got with Bathsheba, and committed adultery. He didn't go to war that particular year, type of deal. He was chilling, and chilling, can get you in some shit sometimes, but you definitely want to stay occupied in the prophecies, stay occupied and just meditating, meditating on the scriptures, man, throughout the day. And that's a commandment from the Lord, to meditate on his words day and night. Every move that we make should be about trying to make the best of the scriptures, man, the commandments of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Because the commandments are like a lamp. They're light or life to a person, So we got a blueprint as to what to do. It's just, in these physical bodies, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, we kind of get to a point of chilling. You get a little bit idle. And then, you can get into a habit of just chilling too much, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get back up and get back to what you were doing. Remember remember what the first love. Matter of fact, the first love of this truth. We have to always constantly examine and remind ourselves, the first love of this truth. When we first came in, how you felt and, how much more dedicated you may have been as opposed to, now, so to speak. You kind of get a little lax. I'll put it that way. So, that's mainly what I wanted to just say in this particular lesson, coming out of that lackadaisical spirit, because it can happen. When you start to feel that way, and you got to get back on the grind, man. You know what I'm saying? And stay on top of your prayers. Stay on top of your fasting if you have to fast for certain things. Because fasting with prayer and alms also, you know what I'm saying, goes a long ways. So we got to be on top of those things, man. Because definitely in these last days, that sifting is going forth. And we don't want to be sifted out of this truth. We want to continue to the very end and come out on top, man. You know what I'm saying? With them crowns, man, that was promised. And all praises to Yahweh H.I.M for, bringing us into this truth to begin with and giving us an opportunity or a chance. And we're praying that we stay here, man. You know what I'm saying? That we're not pulled away by anything. That's why I wanted to kind of touch on this little quick lesson. That if you're feeling like something pulling at you or tugging you in another direction, so to speak, you gotta just pray, man. Say a quick prayer, get back on point, because that's the spirit showing you, if anything, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You got to really examine yourself, check yourself. What's that? You used to have that song back in the days, I think Cube, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Hey, that was real talk back then. You know what I'm saying? You want to check yourself before you wreck yourself, man. So we all have to do it. I mean, it just is what it is. That's a part of the work. That's a part of the work. You have to stay on top of examining yourself. Stay on top of is this pulling me the wrong way, or is that pulling? It can be with whatever. Everybody, all of us have different lots. All of us have a different situation going on. Whether, it's your spouse, it can be your children, it can be your job. You might be done got into an activity, a damn sport, just something that you like to do. Which, we do like to, have some, get some relaxation in, so to speak, when we have some downtime. But you have to really check that though, to make sure that it's not pulling you away from this truth. And again, just stay on top of the business of this thing, so to speak, So yeah, man, it's a lot going on out here. A lot of distractions. It's summertime too. I just seen a little bunny boy that just made me just chill for a second. Like, little stuff like that. You have to check yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're in some interesting times. There's a lot of shit going on in the planet, man. A lot of stuff going on in the planet. But next lesson, maybe we can get off into some of those things. But right now, I just wanted to just do a little little exhortation, so to speak, on catching yourself. That's all, catching yourself, casting down those imaginations. Let me see what else they got in here. Proverbs 12:24, the hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. And again, we got to be on top of that type of stuff. We want to be diligent, especially in this truth, spiritually and carnally. We still, like I said, we got to handle our business. We got to do what we're supposed to do and not let things get behind or to a point of becoming a burden to you. Because, we're to be at peace. You know what I'm saying? To the best of our ability, you should be at peace. And being at peace, there comes some work with being at peace. It just is what it is. until we get the hell out of this man's wicked ass kingdom. But I'm gonna end out there, man. Like I said again, I'm driving. I was just doing a little quick because that kind of hit me in the spirit earlier. And you just want to stay on top of just doing what you're supposed to do or what you have to do. Don't let nothing deter you. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala in a Bible ball.